Yay, we live.
Grab hold of my hand. I feel you understand me. Decide what you want, and then I will make it real indeed. Don't say time to go. No, I know you got some to spare. We've been fighting feeling when it's obvious that we both care. So take me to the moon. I wanna be with the stars. Send me into orbit. Oh, send me into orbit.
Yo, what's up, family? We're back. I know y'all missed me, so I'm not gonna even ask. I missed y'all. Past couple of weeks, there was some stuff going on. But we, life happens. Nothing bad was going on. Last week I couldn't broadcast because it was some work being done on my apartment, so it was loud. And of course, you can't broadcast with a whole bunch of noise. And the week before that, we just took the week off for some self-care. So how about that? Y'all taking care of yourselves. Happy freaking Wednesday. It is almost summer solstice. Yay. I was listening to the intro song and I was enjoying it. And I thought about the title for this week and how the part of the intro song says, not the part that says, don't grab hold of my hand. I know you got something. Did she say something to say or something to share? And so since we are talking about, well, women chasing men, we're going to deal with that. Because y'all know everything that we talk about here on the Sensual, Eccentric podcast is really, really meaningful to me. And lately, for about the past maybe 2 months, it's been hitting home, like knocking at my door, like knock, knock, who's there? All of these goddamn topics, like it's real, y'all. See, I thought I was going to be helping the people, but shit gets real when you think you helping people and spirit say, nah, boo-boo, help yourself. Okay? Like, I'm getting my house in order. So this evening is going to be very, very interesting. Let's welcome everybody that is watching. Welcome my co-host, the lovely one and only Miss Sharice Tate. Hello. I'm excited. I love talking about myself. I love sharing my life experiences. So, as I say all the time, I be telling my business, y'all gonna get to know me real well. Y'all gonna get a chance to see me grow, heal, laugh, cry. This is what we do on the Sensual Eccentric podcast. And you are watching on the Intellectual Soapbox. If you have not already subscribed, which way no, hit the subscribe button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell a friend to tell a coworker, and that coworker to tell another coworker. Tell a sister, tell a brother, tell a cousin, tell a neighbor. Tell somebody walking down the street, hey, it's people on YouTube talking about real ish. Tune in. Like, comment, share, all of that good stuff. We always do open panels. So even though you're watching, if you want to personally come up and share your ideas, your life experiences, your thoughts, look, I encourage participation. This is not school so you don't have to be afraid to speak up. You know what I'm saying? So, with no further wait, let's get into it. What you got to say about this topic? I'm gonna let you go first. Women chasing men. Now, it was like the pros and the cons. I have a view. I don't really think there are pros to women chasing men. But how you feeling about that?
Okay, I want to read something. It say for generations, the cultural script said men pursue and women receive. But today, women are initiating more than ever. The question isn't just should they, it's how this shift changes the entire psychology of modern dating. Let's look at the hidden mechanics of what happens when women take the lead.
Talk about the flip being script and something being topsy turvy, upside down. OMG. Do do you think that women should pursue men? Like what are your thoughts about that?
I don't see anything wrong with it.
So let's take it back a little bit. To pursue a man is different than chasing a man. For me, I don't mind because sometimes and I do say sometimes other people may disagree, but sometimes I do have a little bit of a bolder personality. It all depends on what facet of my being comes out. So I've asked people on dates. I've made the quote unquote first move and be like, I'm interested in you. Whenever that happens, I get rejected though. It's never been received well. Like it's so funny. People may find that hard to believe. Also, I get rejected a lot in so many different arenas, not just romantically, but mm. but so to me, pursuing is not an issue, but to chase somebody. Now, I already have an issue with the word chase because when you chase something, that means it's running from you. That means it's trying to get away. And anything that's running from me may not be for me. I can't stand the term chase the bag. Why you just can't get the bag? And and I know it's the way my brain works. I'm very, very particular and picky with certain stuff, but I ain't chasing nothing. So I thought, and then Spirit tapped me on my shoulder and say, "Hey, Misty, you chase men." And I said, "Say what? Say, come again." So let me get a little bit into my business. When you have someone in your life that is not as present as you would like for them to be, and you checking in, you like, well, hey, I haven't heard from you. You ain't called. When you constantly have to do that, that sounds like chasing to me. Um, and there is one person in my life right now that I believe and I feel like I chase, and I be running after them hard. And what Spirit revealed to me the other day, as far as why women chase, so many different reasons. I hope I can remember them all because I was supposed to, no, I had intentions on writing it down and I didn't. So, in general, and me specifically, I learned from what Spirit revealed that I'm pausing a little bit. I feel a sneeze. Excuse me. There may be another one, but hopefully not. What I learned about myself is I like the attention. And when I say that, it's I got OCD issues. And so OCD is a form of control. And so it's like, and then I don't let go easily. So all of that is like, you gonna pay attention to me. I know you seen my text message. How many times can I text you and bug the fuck out of you before you respond? Because sometimes people think they got a point to prove. And I'm learning this about myself as spirit is revealing all of this. And I'm like, wow. This right here is a big one. A lot of times people don't have nothing else better to do. If I had something else better to do, I wouldn't be like, come on now, like seriously, get a life. Like for real, for real. Find something else better to do with your time. And so I'm like, okay, I want to be noticed. I got too much time on my hands, meaning I'm not being productive enough in life. I don't let go easily. And sometimes, well, dealing with me, sometimes we just care too much. You care, so you just keep making that contact. Mm-hmm. Now, what I thought about was the difference between chasing somebody and trying to show somebody that you're loyal. And this is what Spirit said to me. If you haven't given anybody a reason, if you haven't shown them that you're not loyal, trying to prove that you are loyal is, I don't want to say a little bit ridiculous, but I think we trick ourselves into believing we're just trying to show them that we're loyal and we're holding them down. Well, have you ever been unloyal? Have you ever not held them down? That's something that should be like, it should be obvious because of your character and the nature of the relationship. So it's like at a certain point, if the relationship was good and in whomever perspective that feel like the relationship is not good anymore. For me, I feel like, okay, there's been a lot of distance. It's this, it's that, yada, 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 yada. So I just want them to know that I'm here. And
I'm sorry, can I pause for a second and interrupt?
Absolutely.
I see a comment and I had to address it. Shakisha said, loyalty is earned.
Absolutely.
That's a big, yes.
And see, this is the thing. When, for me personally, I had, in my opinion, was the perfect relationship. And I'm like, what happened? Now, I know me personally, I can be understanding to a fault. I have a lot of patience. And on top of that, you know, my issue with it's difficult for me to let go. But this is also what Spirit revealed to me about myself. A lot of times people operate in fear. And I was realizing that there is a fear of, what if I don't find another relationship as great as that relationship was? And in the back of my mind, I'm telling myself, if it's so great, why has it drastically changed? And there are certain circumstances, like serious circumstances, as to why it's changed. But we hear people all the time saying, you know, when a man wants something, he goes after it. He pursues it. Men are, I don't want to use, what's the word? Not conquerors. They are hunters. So if you're not being hunted, sometimes I feel like, well, maybe he's just not that into me anymore. And we hear that sometimes. And a lot of times men don't really have, because they be so afraid of hurting women's feelings. You know, we hear men all the time say, you can't tell a woman the truth. So, and it's one of those things, life is crazy. Do you read the signs? Are you reading the signs correctly? Like, she get crazy.
Church finger.
I see it.
We got activity in the chat, so I got to do. Excuse me, I ain't trying to interrupt you, but okay. Shakisha said again. Ooh, that is so true. She said, "My goodness, staying past the expiration date is real." And then behind her, Tracy said, "That's a fear a lot of women have." Let's go, y'all. Let's go. Let's talk about it.
And so I learned that, and not only am I operating in fear, but there are a lot of times when people invest in relationships. And if somebody hit a rough patch in life, and that's what's going on with my partner, going through a very, very difficult time. Where do you draw the line as far as being patient, being supportive? And, you know, when they quote unquote get themselves together, because you've been so faithful in a sense, that they come back and reach for you because you didn't give up on them. Sometimes people are worth it. And I'm like, he's worth it, but seriously, what the fuck do I do? And we've talked about this in other podcast topics. When is enough enough? When do you let go? Like, it is the pros and the cons. Like, it's complicated. It's complicated as hell. You got something to add?
Well, my dear,
there's a comment said, that's true, but never at the expense of losing yourself. I just have to take a deep breath on that. I want to ask, what does losing yourself consist of? And I think I know the answer to that, but sometimes you got to hear shit out loud sometimes, because my brain be moving fast, and I'm so in a moment right now. I'm just like, ooh, because, you know, I'm talking about myself and talking about other people. But what were you getting ready to say, Sharice?
Look, I can't stay out of these comments. Anybody else want to step up and join the panel with us? You're welcome to. The option is open. But
yes,
look,
and you don't have to have your camera on. So if you want to personally share your thoughts and your comments and your life experiences or anything like that, you got a story to tell, we want to hear the story. But you don't have to have your camera on. I like to make that known because a lot of people don't like to be seen. A lot of people don't like to be heard either, not audibly. So, but I do want to thank you guys for chiming in and participating in the chat. I appreciate that, because, you know, we don't like to talk by ourselves. You know, we all in this together. We're all in this together. Okay.
and I'm not a talker at all. You know, I don't like to talk, but these comments is so on point and on fire.
So which one were you getting ready to read, though?
Okay. Let me go back. Is that Andrea? Andrea said you should stop when your nervous system says so. Let's talk about that. What is that? What does that feel like? Your nervous system telling you? Is it the butterfly feelings you get, or is it the I feel sick, I need to purge and let this, like, come on, what does that mean when you saying your nervous system says so?
Oh gosh. You know, I always keep it real. And there's a part of me that doesn't want to answer that question because it's like, it's getting a little too real. Like, OMG. A lot of times we as people know the right thing to do, but fear will keep us from doing it. And sometimes we just don't want to let go. We don't want to move on. We blame it on love. But fact of the matter is we be having issues. Something else Spirit revealed to me. My detachment issues, my abandonment issues. I feel like I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. But I am gonna freaking cry because it's one of those things we hear people say all the time. I love hard. Sometimes you gotta say fuck that, like for real. And when you love to a certain capacity, and maybe a romantic relationship isn't working the way that you want it to, but you can still be friends. My thing is, how do I be friends with somebody I'm so like attached to spiritually? Like, uh, the people that know, and it's a few people that know me. I don't know who's in the chat, but Sharice, you know me. How do I just be friends? Like, that's the thing. And the old time saying, if you let something go and it come back to you, it was meant for you. Man, look.
Yeah. Shakisha, what do you think about this?
So thank you for letting me come up. I appreciate it. Appreciate the conversation. And I think it's important. So I'm a woman I'm 51 years old, be 52 come August. So I'm a woman of a certain age. My husband passed away last year. Um, and we were together 30 years, married 24. Um, and what I think I'm primarily here to address, and I want to thank this beautiful sister for sharing her experience and sharing her heart. What I had to come to terms with in looking back over my marriage, when I said, when the it's time to go in the relationship, when you're losing yourself. I was so in tune with what was wrong with my relationship, always considering everything about the relationship. Sometimes we're so immersed with how do we make it work? How do I get this to work? How do I, and begin to lose you, the things that matter to you, the things that make you happy, the things that could, because for me it was, I had assets and family and kids, and like separating those things when the times were really tough between us would have meant hard work that I wasn't ready to really do. If I was just to be honest, it was like separation or divorce was a hard thing to want to have happen after I've already spent all the time, after I've already raised my kids with this man, after all the things we've been through. But I realized, looking back, I sacrificed a lot of myself. I sacrificed a lot of me to maintain a relationship that just wasn't, it was way past the expiration date. We had outgrown one another. When he met me, I was 19. So now I'm a woman in my 40s. I'm a business owner. I'm a filmmaker. I'm doing all these really cool things. He had got stagnant. That alone, that alone was enough to kind of reevaluate, especially if there was no growth. But I stayed and hoped. And a lot of times our hope and optimism will outweigh rationale and reason. Hope and optimism, our belief in their what they call it, not prospects. What's the word when someone had potential? We believe in their potential, and we can see the them that they don't even see. Right? We're investing in their potential, and potential must have kind of a come due date. Remember, nobody goes to the library anymore, but you had them books for 10 days. After 10 days, you got to take them back. Everything comes due. Um, so I think when I say losing yourself, I really mean when you know the difference between we're having a hiccup, you know the difference between potential and he's driven and he's motivated to do, and he just need a little encouragement. It's different because year over year is not just needing encouragement.
Shakisha, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you think about our parents, our grandparents? Because well, I know in my house, seeing my mother, my dad, and then my grandmother and my grandfather, and then slash fast forward my step grandfather, whatever you want to call them, they push and promote in us because of they don't I don't know things didn't they didn't evolve things to say okay enough is enough,
Hmm.
it's time to let this go. They
Hmm.
stayed in these things unhappy
Yeah.
and staying in it unhappy. They tried to push that off on us,
They
and
only
it's
knew what they
when you
knew. They only knew what they
hmm,
knew. The women only knew what they knew. The women only knew what they knew. I give them grace from that perspective. You know, they did a number on a lot of us. A lot of us in therapy because of our parents and grandparents. Shout outs to them.
yes,
Shout outs to them in the therapeutic community. That said, they knew what they knew and they moved how they moved because they were only raised by their parents and grandparents who mental health wasn't a thing,
right,
elevation wasn't a thing. Like education, yes. Getting a good job, yes. Getting your pension, yes. The day-to-day responsibilities of raising a family, because if I make money I could take my family on vacation. My happiness doesn't really mean a lot. It's about the perpetuation of family, right? So that leaves little to no happiness for me. I got to make sure, cook out, I'm on the grill. I got to make sure that I'm in the house at a certain time. Some fathers weren't. You know what I mean? Like it varies. It varies relationship to relationship. But they were unhappy, but that's all they knew is how to keep going.
yeah, push through
Keep your
it,
head down and push forward. I mean, if you're a black person specifically anytime between, I even say now, because black women getting it cold right now. If you're a black woman and was doing it and educated or whatever, you catching it right now. People lost their jobs who had years in the federal government. Years.
yeah, yeah,
So you're putting your head down, you doing what our parents and grandparents did. Just keep going forward, keep pushing forward. But they didn't have tools. Now we got a community. Now I'm sitting on a panel with two beautiful women I've never met before, and I having conversations. Can you imagine if our parents and grandparents had that?
yes, yeah.
Sister circles.
Can we
Um,
church finger? I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. Tracy said that kind of parenting passed down generation to generation, and then here come fighting against the grain.
Sometimes it's necessary to fight against the grain, though. Everything that we were taught or the things that were instilled in us, it may not work for you. I learned that as a parent that, well, just in life, period, but definitely in parenting, not to impose your will on your children.
Mhm.
Um, because the way that they operate and function may be totally different from the way that you operate and function. But I want to get back to, what's your name again, darling?
Shakisha,
Shakisha? Me? Yes, hi.
Yeah,
Shakisha.
Shakita. Thank you for being
I've
here,
been
hon.
trying. Thank you. I appreciate y'all bringing me up. You have a fabulous night.
It is an honor. Where you going?
I thought you, because I didn't know if somebody else wanted to come up and maybe participate.
Girl, you ain't got to go nowhere. It's an open panel.
Thank
You can
you.
leave if you want. You're not obligated to
No,
stay,
no, no,
but
no, no. No,
we not
I
kicking you out. Girl, you in the house, honey.
thank you, ma'am.
Um, but I want to go back to what you said as far as like when you're losing yourself and things like that, and staying past the expiration date. Um, I do not believe that I have reached the expiration date yet. There is a time frame. There is something in particular that I'm waiting on, that if things doesn't change after this particular thing, then that will be the defining moment, so to speak. Um, And I haven't lost myself. It's just really, really difficult. A lot of people don't consider when you're in a relationship, they don't consider that marriage. But I am not a traditional person. If I am committed to someone, I am married to them. I do not need a piece of paper or anybody to define my love and my commitment to someone. So just because I'm not legally married does not
Right.
mean that I'm not married. So when you look at it in that sense, because a lot of people view being in a relationship and being married different. I'm not just dating. This is my spiritual husband. Like, this is my life partner. And so when people are going through a rough patch, a difficult time, as a spouse, you're supposed to be supportive to your spouse. I don't want to use the word hold them down, but patience goes a long way. Um, Yo, y'all just dropped. Good God Almighty. Well, okay, we gonna get there. I know that means something, but but it takes a lot of tender love and care. Sometimes people need to be loved and nurtured and nursed back to themselves when they're not their self. Um, and not only that, sometimes men in particular need to know that they matter, that you're not going to give up on them. You know, a lot of women, we walk around thinking we the ish and we the prize. If you the prize, you don't need a man. Why both of y'all can't be the prize? And so when it comes to like a marriage, if it's not a lack of ambition, he's not treating me poorly. It's just a difficult time in the relationship, and it has weighed on me heavily. And so I know when the expiration day goes, but I haven't lost myself. As far as my central nervous system telling me when to go, I got that pinpointed. But let's get to this jaw drop, because your jaw dropped, and I don't know if Mr. Man has something to say, because sometimes he'll come up and he just being supportive. You know what? You may be being supportive because when you want to say something, you be like, "Can I say something, sis?"
No, I will speak when y'all get to the jaw drop. So yeah, I'm here.
Okay, cool.
Um,
Okay, let's go to the jaw dropping woman. What happened, girl? What happened?
I'm watching Tracy. Tracy in the chat. She was saying that they all are sisters, but in the midst of reading what she said on explaining who they all were and how they were invited, it hit me when she said one of them said about the nervous system. Sometimes your nervous system tell you something, because my nervous system, me, I'm gonna fight to the end with any relationship. I'm gonna fight to the end. Sometimes your nervous system, I agree, it do tell you, look, time is up, let's move on. But then, in not listening to that nervous system, sometimes the best is yet to come out of that. If you just hold on just a little bit longer, you know. Ooh, I don't think we got enough time for this.
I will agree. I will agree. There's a difference between seasons and temperature or triage. Like, you have to understand the difference. You have to know where you are. Because as long as you know, see, and that's another thing. In relationships, it's very, very, very important to know where someone else is coming from in their journey. They say that opinions are like buttholes. Everybody got one. So you got to know who, like the advice you're taking. Okay, so are you talking to your sister over there who every time she hook up, every time she got a man or a boyfriend, this fool always doing is the same guy in a different body? Or is it someone that is a trusted, someone who's trusted, and even though they got through, and they can speak from a place of, okay, I know her journey. She's smart, and in her relationship, she's this, and they're very, they communicate. So you gotta know where your information's coming from now, sis, for sure. I'm coming from my hard place. I came from what they was. We fell in love in a hopeless place. Woo, child. Um, it was hard. It was hard raising our four children. We were homeless at one point. Like, it was a lot. We went through a lot in our relationship. But I do urge you to follow your instinct. And if your instinct knows that it's still more to come and more beauty on the other side, because it's two people from two different separate, ways of thinking, separate ways of growing up, and you trying to build something and bring something together. Of course it's going to be hard. Don't let them don't let them do the soup, not the toothpaste the wrong way. Don't let them do the toothpaste the wrong way after you done told them 10 times. From the bottom, baby, from the bottom. I don't have to say it again. It might drive you crazy.
You know,
Make you look at him. You know what Chris Rock said? You ain't been in love if you haven't contemplated murder.
Oh wow.
I was married
Um,
myself, and in marriage, three kids came out of it, and I kept holding on because my mom would be like, you got to stick it out. Like, and at one point, I had to tell her, you know, this is not for me. The streets could have him. I went and filed for divorce because I had enough. After three kids, and then within the three kids, it's kids over here and kids over there. Now, you know what? I'm going to throw you back because I done had enough. Like, I'm not benefiting from this. So, in doing that, here it is. It took me, I'm going to be 53. It took me 53 years to grow. It took me 53 years to grow. I walked away. And I walked away because I said, I've seen all these different ships in my family. There is no way I'm finna keep dealing with this and you not showing me any type of that you growing. Just show me you growing just a little. I'll accept a little and I'll meet you the other way. You can't even show me that. You know what? Let me file these papers. Because what are we doing here? I'm suffering. Our kids are suffering. But in between that, I was battling because who want to raise kids on their own? You going on with your life. You don't have other kids on me. You making more kids behind those kids. And I have to raise kids by myself. That wasn't fair to me. But then, fast forward 53 years, I can say I grew in that to know I made the right decision for me. I made the right decision for my kids, even though they didn't think so. What do? You do what's best for you.
That part. Let's hear from Mr. What is your dog on YouTube name? You know I can't see it. I don't know if it's blessed or best.
whichever one, sis. You know me.
What's up? Thank you for joining us this evening. Share your thoughts, opinions, life experiences, wisdom. What's on your mind right now?
I'm glad they let me come up here. I don't know if they're gonna let me come up here or not. No, I'm joking. I got to mess around a little bit. Um, I I have grown to realize, especially this year, um, when it comes to our people, we don't understand love or how to love. We just don't, as a totality, and we're afraid to say that. That's really the problem. You know what I mean? Even I don't understand love completely. I don't. I am always learning from it. I'm always growing in it. I'm always learning more from it for myself, number one, from I believe in God. Everybody can believe in whatever they want. So in my God, right? I believe in my God and what God shows me, and what He shows me through myself and through others. And then I believe, in love in different aspects, whether it's romantic, whether it's friendship wise, business wise, whatever, right? All different aspects of it. um, but in seeing that, I have an understanding now, just from the things I've seen and the things that I've experienced through other people as well, personally and business wise and indirectly, that we're just all kind of drawing straws when it comes to love, right? It's we just trying to figure it out, right? We just trying to figure it out. We're just trying to understand and have a definition because we are people who are because of a lot of things we've gone through within this country and abroad throughout the diaspora and through the impact of colonization and oppression. We are always trying to define ourselves and find out who we are and how to love. The one thing I have learned about love is that love is not something that you can bind. It's not something that you can basically hold captive, right? It has to be free flowing. It has to be expressive. It has to be, it has to be completely organic. It cannot be forced in any way, right? And so I always tell people in that don't be afraid to go, but don't be afraid to stay. A lot of us are listening and getting our definition of love based on what somebody else or something else or whatever entity that we believe in or whatever deity that we believe in is telling us. Oh, I read the scripture, I read the Quran, and such says this. Or my mama and or my daddy told me such and such. This person, it's like you're getting all these definitions from everything else, but you're not going to the source, which is yourself. You're not going inside yourself and asking yourself, "Hey, self, how do I like to be loved? What do I think love is? How do I like to love others?" We're not doing that at all, and we're afraid to say that within our community. Completely afraid. You know what I mean? Like how little kid be afraid of the dark. That's how we afraid of love. Like we are like using the bathroom on ourselves, afraid of love and how to love how to love ourselves and each other. Like, and that's because in our community we're taught that in order for us to be loved or feel loved, we have to have a great job or this kind of money or this kind of home or this kind of car and this, that, and the third. Now, listen, I do want to say this. A woman cooking a meal is not everything, but it is something, right? A man working a job isn't everything, but it is something. So, yes, we need to appreciate the things that each of us do individually and separately and together. But in that, also we got to understand that love is simple yet complex. We have to stop listening to what outside sources are telling us. Stop being afraid to love who we really want to love, and stop being afraid of what other people gonna think about it. We're so consumed with outside views that we're not even being free to love. We ain't even free ourselves to love ourselves. So when it comes to somebody else, of course we're not loving them. So we ain't even doing it within ourselves. We're not. It's just not happening. So that's why people are just so uptight. Love making just seems like it's just going out the window. We're like, man, where all the love making go? You know what I mean? All the songs sound the same, and they don't even sound right. Remember before you could turn the radio on, and it just be a whole bunch of love songs come on, and you just having experiences. Like your mind is just thinking about going on a date or flowers or intimate connections. You ain't got that shit. That's gone. That's a lot that's gone. You gotta listen to some old school stuff to get that feel back. You know what I mean? So I made me an old school playlist. That's another story for another time. So I can still have that feeling. But yeah, like we have to have that where we are experiencing love and not experiencing what other people define as love. And here's another thing too. I think in letting go, we have to get to the point where we're able to let go and be okay. Let go. You ain't gotta hurt nobody. You ain't gotta hurt nobody, kids, yourself, or nothing. It's all right. Some people gotta go. Sometimes you gotta remove yourself. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, no problem, sis. I see you. Nice comment. I see you. But we have to get to the point where, like I said, we allow ourselves to love freely, openly, and not afraid, and not afraid to love the person that we want to love, and more importantly, love ourselves. I'll end there.
My, you have said a mouthful. What I got out of that, I got that love is a personal thing. Um, we say love is a universal language. I guess it can be, but just like people interpret and hear songs differently and it means something to you, it's a personal thing. Um, and then you talked about fear on the opposite of, staying with someone, and the fear of letting go. You spoke about the fear of loving past, when it feel like you're looking stupid, so to speak. That's what I was getting out of it. Like, regardless of what other people may say, because it's so personal, and you have to, like what Shakisha was saying, know yourself and your capacity and what you have. A lot of times we know within ourselves, and a lot of times, and I've said this to myself, life is about lessons. And if I'm not supposed to let go right now because there's a lesson to learn, then I'm not going to rush the lesson. Sometimes, people in school needed to be held back because they hadn't learned what they need to learn. Sometimes we just holding some stuff back because it's something we need to learn. But like, life is complicated. Love is complicated. Relationships are complicated. Hell, we complicated. Do y'all know what the human being is made up of? All of our different components. All of this shit is complicated. It's Fuck. It's just complicated. So, and we just, like Mr. Best said, we out here trying to do the best we can. Like, we winging it. And sometimes you got to run a course a couple of times before you know the course. And then even when you got it down packed, you still gonna slip sometimes. You ain't gonna run the course perfect every single time you run the course, even though you may know that course front to back. Like, you know the course. Certain stuff that's happened, you're gonna trip. Shit just be happening, and life be damn life. And yeah, somebody say something.
I
I
was
want
gonna.
to
I was.
say that is that to what you were sharing earlier about your personal situation. Listen, if don't put yourself in bondage, right? Or feel like you're in bondage because you want to stay. If you want to stay, stay. If that's the person you want to love and you want to stay, fight for that. Like you fight, like they was fighting for each other to love each other on Love Jones, the movie. Stay,
Look, you better
stay.
set me free. I saw something one time on a television show. Oh gosh, I can't recall the television show right now, but it had Loretta Devine as the main character. She was the mother character, and then what's my man's name from In Living Color? Um, his name just David Allen Greer. They was a mom and a dad slash husband and wife, main characters of the show. And their child asked them, because they was in a relationship. I can't remember if they was frustrated with the relationship, but he asked them, he was like, Mom, how do you stay in a relationship? What kept you and dad together? She said, oh, that's easy. She said the key to staying together is don't break up. I said, you know what? Just don't break up and you're gonna be together. Like, it's changed my life. Do you hear me? But let me tell you that I appreciate what you just said, everything that you said, because I have to remind myself of that sometimes. Like, it's okay to not let go. It's okay to not give up, because the person that I'm loving and like holding on to is a wonderful freaking being. He's freaking
Yes,
awesome. He's freaking amazing. Did y'all see me blush when I said
I see
that?
you. We see you. And don't put yourself in bondage by not leaving. Leave. If you gotta leave, leave. Either situation, like Sister Shanika was saying, Shakisha, I'm
Keisha,
saying,
no
sorry,
worries. No, you're fine.
sorry. Like Sister Shakisha was saying, you know, like if you have to step away, you have to go, then it's all right. Like you can't. We have to be okay with with knowing. You know, she was sharing about that knowing and that inside feeling of knowing. You know, when love has either run its course or whether it's still going and it's still healthy. You know what I mean? And that is big. You know what I mean? And then also, I think salute to the homie Braxton. Good to see you, brother. Um, I think also, we have to see certain qualities in people, and in certain qualities, they will inspire us. You know what I mean? Um, I would say, for like you, Galaxy, the quality that inspires me is the fact that you are always searching to love and to understand love. Like you're always searching. You know what I mean? Like always. Like you just like, nah, we gonna get this love thing right. I don't care what I gotta do, we gonna get this right. You know what I mean? I love Sister Sharice and her patience, her wisdom, just seeking out how to love. Shakisha, I don't know much about you yet, sister, but I do love your insight and your experience on just love and totality. So when we're around people, it also helps us to learn more about love completely if we're willing to learn. So yeah,
Can I
I
just
did wanna
say one
I'm sorry.
thing? I'm sorry. Can I say one thing? If it's meant to be, it'll come back around, right? If it's truly meant to be.
For sure, but you have to let it go in order for it to come back. But
Right.
if you
Right.
don't let it go, it's almost like a fire that is not a blaze, but as long as you still have smoke, then there's the possibility of lighting the fire. And it's like, even if it's a fire, it's like as long as you don't let the fire go out, there can always at the divine timing, the divine moment, you add whatever wood you need to make the fire bigger to where you can feel the heat of the flame. But in the famous words of Mystical, I smell smoke. Y'all don't make me cut up. But Shakisha, what were you gonna say, darling?
I lost the track. I lost the thread. It's okay though, because this is such a good conversation, and I do believe that love has been, particularly black love, has been on the chopping block for a long time. I feel like if you go on social media, you find folks who are, it's this battle, women against men, and a lot. And you would think if you're just listening to the social media stratosphere, or the bubble, whatever that is, that love isn't abounding amongst black people. You know why? Because black love is so powerful. It's so powerful. We need that. We continue to. And for the single ladies who are still looking, it's still available. I think we need to use our experiences and what we know when it feels good and when it don't. Same difference. When we get that, there's a he's not a creator, he's someone I've followed for a few years. His name is Bashar, Bashar, and he talks about everything's an experience to learn a lesson from, and we provide the context of that lesson. So a lot of times, I'll even speak for me, coming out of being a wife and going into the dating scene, I walked in there with wife energy, like a fool, like a dag blame fool. You don't walk into the dating scene with wife energy, because
why
the
don't
things that I did, you can't. You can have your
why?
assignment can. Hold on now, hold on. If I'll explain.
Hmm.
You can be, your assignment can be wife. Just because you don't not married to the person anymore don't mean your assignment's not wife. Every man doesn't deserve you to be their wife, or every man is not looking for you to be their wife. So assigning, like doing the things you would do in a relationship with someone you're getting to know, when that person hasn't shown up in husband energy, you can't do that when you're dating. It's everyone is getting to know one another. Everyone's getting to know each other. Whether it's, do we get along? Just our mainstays are, religion, how we see the world, and all that. Everybody doesn't deserve that energy. And I'm not saying that you can't look for a husband. I'm saying you have to go in with open eyes. You have to go in fully aware. I was going in giving grace and patience, like I was when I was married, to folks who was doing the worst. I have a name for him. I will brand it on another show because I don't want you to get flagged on YouTube. um
We appreciate that.
Let me ask you this, sis. So
yes,
when you
ma'am.
say
Galaxy, man, may I make one comment just real quick?
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I just want to say that I didn't understand what you were saying first, Sister Sakisha. But now that you explained it, you're right. Not everybody deserves that. Only certain people deserve it. And I always tell people it should be the amount of people that you meet as far as, those who you want to date. It should only be 3% of those people that you meet that are even qualified to be in that realm of becoming a wife
Amen.
or a husband. So, yeah.
Agreed. And that's not a slight, because I think everybody's got somebody with their name on them. Somebody got that tag. They like, "Ooh, that's for me." But not everybody can. You can't walk into it giving that same energy. But I'm sorry, sis. What were you about to say?
I just want to make it clear to the audience members and the people that may catch this on the repeat. So when you say you can't give their energy to everybody, do you mean like, because you use the word dating, to like there's so many different variations of dating. Is it courting? Is it a committed relationship? Can you be just a little bit more specific? Because for me, if
Girl,
I'm
I'm
in
about
a
to share
committed
my story.
relationship,
You gonna want to hear this. So I was dating somebody, right? I was dating somebody. This fool, I we were on the same page. I thought we were on the same page. We were in sync by way of what I thought, what his representative, that's what I'll say. I didn't realize his representative came so strong. I had heard about the representative and various rooms, various lives, various podcasts about these representatives. I didn't know they were so good at representing. Oh,
Wait
it
a
was it
minute.
was yes.
Churching. What is a representative?
That's the person who they want you to see, right? That's the best of what they
yeah,
got. That's the best of who they are. They'll let out the
So he
chair.
wouldn't
They'll make
want
you
to
feel
be
like the only
somebody
woman
else
in the
who was the
world.
same.
Yeah, representative.
a representative is like a salesman. You know, a salesman they go extra hard to get you to spend that money. Hey, they come on real strong.
Come on,
I
so
got it.
strong. It's a
I got it.
psychological thing too. It's a psychological component too. So I'm meeting a representative, but again, new to the scene, not kind of like a baby deer, like a gazelle in the wild, if you will, the one that get away from the herd, and then the lion come and take you by the neck. I'm walking around just grazing, just happy to be grazing. You know, the first, first couple of experiences sexually. So I'm like, yeah, this is it right here, because again, 30 dang years. So I'm happy. I'm like, hey, yeah. I didn't know they come like beer cans. I didn't know this. Okay,
Ooh,
well, let's get it. Let's get it. And no, it wasn't any of that. It wasn't any of that. And up to and including 2 weeks ago, getting a call at my big age from another woman talking about, I knew about you. What? Because I didn't know nothing about you, sis. Come on, man. Come on. So all the questions that I had, all the stuff I started rummaging through my brain and started making excuses for, like in dating, making excuses for someone brand new. Like, no, it does make sense that he's calling me at 9, 10 o'clock at night when I already told him I wake up for work at 6:30 in the morning. No, it's okay because he's talking to his kids at 9 o'clock at night. 10-year-old, 6-year-old, and the 2-year-old. You're talking to them at 9 o'clock at night. Making excuses for someone I barely knew. I going forward in an energy that is now very aware, very like still open to the prospect of love because I do want to fall in love again. I do. I don't know about marriage, but I definitely know that I do want to be in love and in partnership. I work well in love and in partnership. I am a strong partner in partnership. That said, I'm looking with my eyes open. No more wife energy and new beginning stuff.
Let me stop you for 1 minute, sis. You said something that is so freaking important. You said you were making excuses for someone. I don't know if you said that you had just met, but the fact that you were
Barely knew.
somebody that you barely knew. So what I heard in my spirit when you said that is we be wanting something to be what it was. And so we impose our own will on something when it's
Yep.
like we interpret it a certain way when it's clearly saying this. If I say I love you, don't interpret it as I might love you. I think I love you. I just clearly said I love you. There's no interpretation. I love you. So when I say that, what he was saying is I'm only available at night. And your interpretation was,
Oh no. This man was telling me he loved me. He told me he was in love with me a week and a half in. And I was telling him, slow down. We don't know each other like that.
I'm dealing with the part that you say you were making excuses
Oh
because
yeah. The
this is
BS.
really
Yes, ma'am. I was
important
going back on
as
mute.
far as what we as women do. And so because we like the attention, because a lot of times people don't even call us or text us. So when we get that call, sometimes, and we have to be willing to admit this, sometimes if a man texts you at 10 o'clock or 10:30, it make you feel a little special, like I'm on his mind late at night. Sometimes we do feel like, oh, okay. Sometimes, not all the time. But I think it's important, as you were saying, to like, are they only texting at night? Like, I had a situation one time. I had a guy pursuing me. And because I like to take my time, he was consistent. Because I get a lot of people that act like they interested, and I think they just be interested with the idea of me, and they don't make it past a 5-minute conversation, especially when it comes to social media. So this man was consistent for at least a month. I don't know the exact timing, but for at least a month, every day, every other day, he was checking on me. Even when I didn't respond back, he would still come back and hold conversation. I said, okay, maybe bruh man is serious. Let me go ahead and give him a try or whatever. So he asked me out on a date. We went out on a date. I thought the date went wonderful. I ain't heard from this man since the doggone date. Maybe a couple of weeks past the date, there was a few text messages, and I was like, what was I not what he thought I was? Like, what happened, bro? But I think homie was married, because he told me that he was divorced. He said, I'm divorced. The papers have been signed, da 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 this, da 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 that. I live by myself. And of course, because we're not dating yet, we're just talking. We're not even courting yet. Like, we're just really trying to get to know each other. I would have gotten to a point to where we're like, I want to see the divorce papers. But we only went on the one date and had a great time. Yeah, he went to the Bears game, and I ain't seen a Herbro man from him since. So it's like,
Not the Bears game.
did the
I'll be
Chicago
specific.
Winds blow him
Yes.
away? Like, I don't know what the heck happened. Yeah, he went tailgating. I was like, I thought I was gonna tailgate with you. That was my understanding, that we were gonna spend the whole day together. no, we went to breakfast and he dropped me off and I ain't seen him since. So I'm like, ooh, did
I
I
will
say
say
something wrong?
I will say this though. I needed that lesson. That was a crash course. That saved me months. That whole situation saved me months of going forward on what it's supposed to really look like and how it's supposed to feel. When that man was love bombing me, I knew it didn't feel right. Not because I didn't like what was being said, but because I knew I needed the time. I knew I needed to slow it down to get to know one another. Because again, having been together with someone for decades teaches you that love is in the moments, love builds over time. Even when you're in lust or in like or whatever, it's still a building of moments and understanding, like a mutual thing between two people. So I knew it was going too fast and I didn't pump the brakes or just see it as a red flag. But I needed that education. He saved me months. He said it hurt to get over it, but he saved me so much time. So shout outs to you, my guy. Shout outs to you, my guy.
I just want to say to my sisters, into y'all just as human beings, 'cause I don't want to be gender specific. I know I don't do the gender thing. I like to speak to humans as humans and adults as adults. Um, I wanted to say to both of y'all, Alice Venus and to you, Sakisha, that y'all didn't do anything wrong. You didn't do anything wrong, and don't stop being yourself. We never stop being ourselves. We just limit access to those who don't deserve it. But we never stop being ourselves. When we stop being ourselves, we're robbing ourselves. And then in turn, we're robbing other people from experiencing something great. We're walking greatness. You know what I mean? And we have to understand that. You know, I wouldn't get deep and say we are gods and all that, but y'all get it. But yeah, we have to understand that don't ever rob yourself from loving and being yourself. Don't ever rob anybody else from doing that. Just for those who don't deserve it, they don't get it. You know, dark
I
days are over.
say, I say, I say. I want to ask you guys, have for the ladies here, have y'all ever chased a man? And for the man on the panel, has a woman ever chased you? And for you being the man, if a woman has ever chased you, what was that like for you? And how did you deal with that? I want to hear from the man first.
Why you starting trouble for?
That
Why
laugh
are you
said a
starting
lot, sir.
trouble for? I think that because of my upbringing, and because I wasn't poured into in a lot of ways from my childhood, because the adults in your family are your first experiences of teaching you how to love, right? So because I wasn't poured into the right way, when that was happening when I was younger, or even as a younger man, I ain't know how to deal with that at all. I'm just gonna be completely honest with y'all. So sometimes, I would say something, or sometimes I would lie, or I would do whatever it took to kind of, deal with it the best way I could deal with it, because I didn't know how to receive love at a younger age. I'm now a middle aged man, so now I'm a lot more mature and experienced in how I do things. Um, but yeah, it was awkward when I was young. When I was a young man, yes, and when I was a child and a teenager, yes. As a man now, um, if somebody is trying to connect with me in a certain way, um, what I mean. I always make sure that I let them know where I am at first within our connection, and then from there, I'll say, okay, do you accept that? You know what I mean? Because most of the time, what I mean. And it's not the fact that I'm in a relationship, or whatever else. You know, I always let people know where I'm at with them as an individual. And I always tell them, hey, this is where I'm at. Can you accept that? Are you okay with that? You know what I mean? And for the most part, that goes well. Most times people are like, "Oh wow, okay," because I think a lot of times when women pursue men or they go after men, a lot of times guys are, they just completely just be like, oh, okay, cool, I'm with it. Even if they don't not there, even if they're not really with it, they're just in it so they can get what they want out of it, and then they just let the woman go. You know what I mean? For whatever reasons. But me, I'm not gonna do that. If I see that you are interested and you're pursuing, I'm gonna just tell you, hey, this is where I'm at in my life, and this is how I view you, and that's just what it is, and hopefully you're okay with that. So now I can communicate it, I can set boundaries and standards, and I'm able to move forward and do what needs to be done in that relationship. So it's no longer awkward. I no longer feel pressed or anything else. I've done enough of the inner work and outer work in order to be able to deal with that correctly. So yeah, hopefully I answered your question.
Absolutely.
Venus and Sharice, thank you so much for having me. I'm a Knicks fan. I'm from New York, born and raised in Harlem. I'm getting ready to go watch this game real quick. It has been such a pleasure and an honor. I do hope that I get an invite for the next one. I'm following. I'm definitely following. Mr. Bless, thank you so much for all your wisdom, and thank you for sharing your heart with us tonight. I gotta go, y'all. Y'all have a fabulous evening.
Enjoy the game and
Thank
thank
you
you so
so
much.
much.
It
Go
was
New
an
York,
honor
go New York,
having
go. I'm
you
I'm a
here.
New Yorker too. I'm from Brooklyn, so yeah,
Come on, man.
yeah. I'm,
Where
I'm,
we
I'm
at?
from Brooklyn.
It was an honor having you here, sis. Come back and see us soon. We we
Absolutely.
Definitely, it
we,
was a
we,
blessing.
we do this every week.
I'm on it. See you next week.
All right, sis. Thank you, hon. It was something you said. You said, shoot. Give me a minute. Did I lose it? Is it gone? It's definitely floating in outer space. Um, I think it's gone. It's too high out of my reach. But I was thinking about going back to the pros and the cons. Oh, thank you, Spirit. Ooh, okay. Um, I guess I must have astral projected and got it from the stratosphere. Um, the pros and the cons of chasing a man, pursuing a man, however you want to put it. I think it's important to consider that not every man is dominant. And there are men that don't mind aggressive women, so to speak. Women that pursue, women that are like go-getters. And I've heard and saying I used to watch things. I don't think it's like the 30 Day Fiance thing, but certain little shows back then, and even one of our supporters here. I'm not going to call his name because I don't know if it's okay. He said that his wife pursued him. His wife is the person that proposed to him. So a lot of people would think that's out of order, but just because a woman is the aggressor, so to speak, doesn't mean that it does not work because there's so many different types of people on the planet. So a pro is one of the pros of chasing a man or pursuing a man is if you don't go after it, you might not get it. Sometimes there are men that are just laid back. Every man doesn't look the same. Every man doesn't have the same character. And ladies, please know that just because a man is different doesn't mean he's not a manly man. It just means he's different, point blank and a period. And I'm gonna stop right there. Well, no, I'm not going to stop right there. I'm going to add a con is, sometimes, if we're pursuing or chasing someone that isn't worth our time, and I think it has to be, it's somebody that is not worthy of our energy or somebody we are not compatible with. Like Miss Shakisha was saying, we may lose ourselves if we're pursuing someone that we're not compatible with or is not worthy of our energy. I'm just about ready to wrap it up. How y'all feeling? Do we have any other comments? Because I'm about ready for final thoughts. I always wait for the spirit to speak, and I feel like spirit is tapping me on my shoulder, like, okay, it's about that time. Go ahead, wrap it up, do the final thoughts, and let's get on up out of here.
I have a final. I'm gonna read this. It says social script whiplash. Even in 2026, subconscious bias run deep. If a woman chased too aggressively, a man conditioned by traditional scripts might misinterpret her confidence as desperation, which can skew the power dynamic from day one. What are your thoughts on that?
Ooh, did you see my face? Now, ooh, that is a good one. Thank you for that. Because a lot of us, and I hate that so many of us are so conditioned by society and what's the society norm. I can give two flying pigs, and flying pigs don't even exist about, hey there, about what a societal norm is. Um, because people are different and we're all unique, we're individuals. So just because it, what society be doing don't personally does not work for me, because I'm like we talked about earlier, going against the grain. I'm just different. I'm I march to the beat of my own drum, and I like my rhythm. Everybody else rhythm is like, you will hear somebody drumming, and then you will hear that one drum that seems like it's out of place, but the beat is cold as fuck. It's like, oh, that's a cool ass beat. But somebody may be like, that's out of order. But somebody that is artistic or creative may be like, even though that seems out of place, that's dope as fuck. So that's where I be coming from. I be coming from the seemingly out of place but dope as fuck perspective, because that shit don't work for me. But it's so true though. Men will interpret that as desperation because, in my opinion, they programmed, and, society shit be full of shit and it's all BS. But hello to our new panelists. How are you? Introduce yourself for the people that may not know you. Thank you for being here. It is great to see you and great to have you.
Hi, can you hear me? How you doing, Galaxy Venus? Thank you so much for having me on the show. What's up, Mr. Bless in the World? What's up, bro?
I'm good. It's been a while since you've been with us here in person. You've been behind the scenes checking us out for so you got some time for us today.
Yeah, I actually do. I know that you're closing out, so I didn't have a lot of time. That's why I hopped on now, because you're closing out. But how you doing? I don't think I've ever spoken to you before. But I just want to say, Galaxy, I think that Mr. West was right when he said that one cool thing about you is that you're always like trying to learn things that you love. You're trying to pursue knowledge. I noticed that about you too. I think that's cool. The conversation, I would say though, there's a lot of things that I heard that I was thinking it's a beautiful conversation these people have, but like because this thing was said is like what the problem is. So, for instance, I'll give you an example. Right? This idea.
Let me stop you for 1 minute. There is some background noises. I don't know what the problem is. I'm muted. So, but I would like to hear him a little bit more clearer if possible. So I'm not sure what's going on. So if everybody can mute, if we weren't already muting while he was talking, and let's see if that helps, please. Thank you, guys.
Okay, how's that? Is that better? Okay. Can someone put up Tracy Taylor's comment, his most recent comment? Well, I'll just read it for you guys. It says, if one decides to chase and or pursue a man, we have to make sure the true feelings of the man are the same. He needs to feel the same about you as well. And even though that I understand that idea, Tracy Taylor, pertaining to when a man pursues a woman, that doesn't apply. A man can't wait to think that, oh, does she feel the same way about me? Okay, now I know she feels the same way about me. So now I have permission to pursue and approach her in public. That's never the thought process of a man, because there's no way for us to know if a woman, it doesn't matter how attractive or confident we believe we are as men, there's still no way for us to know what a woman is thinking before we approach her, right? So that is the part where I think maybe some women don't understand the process of like vetting and being brave enough to approach a woman that is an experience that's different, right? So if a woman is going to approach a man, she has to pursue that same mindset. She can't wait for this this understanding to happen where, oh, he's into me, so let me approach him now. No, 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 you just approach him and see if he's interested. You know what I'm saying?
Let me stop you for 1 minute. It's so important that you said that, because when I hear that, what I hear is um, the narrative telling women, don't put yourself out there to be rejected. And men say this all the time: women can't deal with rejection. We don't know how to deal with rejection. And you just made a valid point to say, like, you have to have the same mindset. Why do you have to wait to be sure? There's nothing wrong with not knowing. You don't none fail but a try. It ain't no big deal if somebody doesn't feel the same. It's like, I think we can learn and grow from not waiting or not being sure and just shooting a shot. A lot of people, I think about basketball. You throw up a layup. Most times we gonna miss the layup because we don't know how to play ball. So
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that is very important what you said. Please continue. Thank you so much.
Well, I just want to say too that I don't want that to be misconstrued with the type of guy that approaches a woman and then it's obvious that she's not interested and he just keeps going. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just like a mindset that I don't think, like, a lot of women do a lot of projecting, right? This is not me trying to slight women. But for instance, I'll give you an example. Like the statement that was made earlier was, oh yeah, about love bombing, right? It's like, the thing about it is, how can a man express himself, and show you what he feels for you, if every time he does it, there's a label put on it, which is love bombing? And this is no offense to I think her name was Shakisha, to the woman who was on here talking, because I thought you guys had a beautiful conversation. There was a lot of things she said I did agree with. But she also kind of like juxtaposition that point with her not approaching the dating market with like wife energy, right? But a part of, and that feeling she has is realistic, but a part of why I feel like she feels that way is because of how the dating market has changed, because there are these jackets put on men nowadays, right? So I could be completely genuine and I could actually feel something for you, right? But I can't express that because it's going to be seen as love bombing, right? So then that
Now the
changes
thing is, I think it's only love bombing when it's not genuine. Like when they excessively do it in the beginning and then they just fall off. So it's like, you did all of this to get my attention and then you were not consistent because after a short amount of time, then it's like, what happened? Like, a relationship is supposed to last more than 2 months. You can't be into me and tell me how much I mean to you, and then month 3 I don't hear from you, or I find out you got another woman and you're not polyamorous, or at least you ain't told me you polyamorous. So I think that's what people be talking about when they say love bomb, and not just someone expressing their feelings. Because if that was the case, my partner and I love bomb each other because it was love at first sight. Now, I think, how soon did I tell this man I loved him? It was pretty freaking early. And I knew it kind of would seem psychotic, like, why? But I told him, I was like, if you ask me to marry you tomorrow and have your children, and I have 6 living children already, I'm in my late 40s. You ask me to marry you tomorrow and have your child, I would do it. The answer is yes. What we doing? But I wanted to say that now there are times where men are judged for being expressive. So I get what you're saying in that part. But as far as the love bombing, I think that only persists to when they're not being genuine.
Yeah, I agree. I do know that that happens, you know. But like, let's just say I do feel something for you in 2 months or before that, right? If there's some sort of like stereotype that could fit me because I actually do feel something for you, then that's gonna sort of dictate, you know, how I move from there. And so, since that's like a complete narrative now, a lot of women re-entering the dating market might not get the same type of experience that maybe their grandmothers would have gotten in the dating market. You see what I'm saying? So it's like everybody's kind of like reacting to things and trying to adapt to, you know, the social norms of today. And that's all I wanted. That's the only point I wanted to make, is that I thought that you guys were talking a lot of truth on here, but at the same time I was also thinking, well, men are kind of reacting to what's in media and what's being pushed about men, which is kind of dictates the different type of dating experience that a woman would have nowadays, which is why some women feel like they can't project wife energy whilst dating. And I just kind of think that that's counterproductive or counterintuitive, because it's like, well, if you never project wife energy, or if I never project husband energy, then let's just admit that we're all fucking, you know. Why, if that's going to be the case, then we just need to make a decision as black women, black men and black women, that that's all we're doing, and not pretend like it's something else. That was my thoughts on it.
I know what you're saying. That's why I was asking and making the differentiation. Is that a damn word?
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
Between, courting someone as far as getting to know them, and when you're in a committed relationship. um and the difference when you're in a committed relationship, because for me, and I say this all the time, when I make a commitment, when it goes past dating and a courtship and I'm in a relationship, I'm your wife. I'm not gonna get in no relationship with you if I can't be your wife, and if you have not shown me that you are a husband. If not, just what you said, we just gonna be kicking it. But I don't kick it anymore. So well, no, that's I do have a couple of people.
He's like, no, I'm lying.
Like, because I'm polyamorous, and I do have a partner
I like that.
like,
I mean,
look, a spirit to tap me on my shoulder in a minute and be like, wait a minute, hold on, don't tell that lie.
It is
That was
sundress
hilarious.
season. It's sundress season. You need to be outside, so it is what it is. We all
Now,
hey,
but
weather's
the
warm.
thing
We outside
is,
right now. It's all good.
the thing is, I kick it with meaning, and is long term partnerships. Don't
Can I
laugh.
say
Look,
that?
now, don't
No, wait.
laugh
Can I
like
say
that.
that? Can I say
Because
that?
I'm poly, and so it has meaning and whatever.
I'm
But
just messing with you. I'm just playing with you.
I know, I
Like,
know.
I'm gonna say this, the dark late statement. I think I think I think both men and women both come in, and I was saying this to one of my mentors, and I was saying this to somebody else the other day as well. When men and women are getting to know each other, we're gonna judge each other. It's just gonna happen, right? If you a man and you tell a woman, "Hey, I got 3 kids, but I ain't with none of the women," she gonna look at you like you a deadbeat. She don't know nothing about your story. She ain't even let you finish yet, but that crosses her mind, whether unintentionally or intentionally. It will cross her mind, and she may still want to get to know you, but she like, hold on, you not with none of them women, like none. Like, and you got 3 kids, like you not with none of them, right? That might cross her mind, and she may still like you, right? And it's the reverse. If a woman has a certain amount of kids and she not with none of the men, none of the men, a man gonna think, dang, is she just a baby mama? You know what I mean? Like these things cross our mind. We're gonna judge each other, right? It's gonna happen. But in judging each other, right? And to what Dark Lady says, like, how we all how men, have to deal with certain, standards and ramifications. I think that's true across the board for both men and women. And not only that, we not only are we dealing with standards and ramifications that we're putting on each other as far as men and women, right? Some of them are realistic, some of them are not. And we've heard them online. A man got to be this tall, or women can't weigh this much. You can't have this many kids. If you were divorced, then you like the devil. We've heard all these different. Um, mm, hold on, we heard all these different boundary standards and qualifications just to get to know someone, right? And some of them make sense and some of them don't, right? So within that, because we have all of that, right, it sometimes make it a lot harder for us just to get to know each other. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, remember, not only we dealing with that coming from each other, but now we got society trying to tell us people of color how we need to look, how we need to love, how we need to accept each other, how we need to live with each other. And it's like when we're dealing with all that, yes, it can make things very, very hard. And I think that we have to get rid of a lot of those, expectations or whatever else they want to call them. You know what I mean? And really just start being more ourselves and being free and just loving the way we want to love. So, and loving who we want to love and loving ourselves. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say, y'all. You know?
Well, to that I say, if that's what makes a woman a devil, then I have truly earned my horns. Like, look, they are flaming and on fire. Do you hear
No,
me?
I'm saying it's true across the board, though. It happens to both.
My horns are big. Like I may have 14-inch horns. Damn it. Um, but what else would I was gonna respond to? Shoot, that's what I get for playing too much. Um, dang, it was something else you said. It's floating. Yeah, it's floating.
What point did I make that has you thinking?
About like what expectations that we have on women and men, oh like,
Oh yes, I think that was it. Thank you. Um, I frowned when you said that because I'm so different. I'm so non-judgmental that other women judge me like because I don't just go off what I hear or what it may appear to. Things are not what they appear to be. Just because a man has 4 children and he's may have never been married or not with any of the children's mother, I don't automatically judge that man. I'm different like that. Plus, I know the life that I've lived, that I've lived. So me knowing the life that I've lived and the people around me and how we are and the character that we possess, I can't. I'm not saying I'm not judging because I'm in their shoes, but it's like I'm not stuck up to think that that's a bad thing. Like I'm not gonna go like, ugh. It's not a ugh. It's not an ick for me.
oh, of course, Mr.
No, but
Bless was saying that the
that's not what
person
I was
might.
theoretically
Yeah,
saying.
wait. What he was saying was
Hold
that
on,
the
hold on,
person
hold on a
might
second.
think
Hold on,
that.
hold on.
Oh, sorry. All right,
Hold
go
on a
ahead.
second. I'm sorry. That's not what I was theoretically saying. What I was saying was that those thoughts may cross your mind, even though you're willing to be open to whatever's going on with said gentleman, right? It may cross your mind of like, okay, what happened in those situations, right? You're being open minded, right? You're being willing to hear him out or even hear what's going on with him, right? But that may cross your mind like, yo, why? Like, what's what like? Is that a part of it? Like, that's one of the thoughts that may cross your mind. Even if you are being open minded, that's one of the thoughts that may cross your mind. Like I said, it might. I'm not saying it will, but I said it might.
I completely understood that, and what I was speaking on for outside of the people that it may cross their mind. I'm saying for me personally, things like that don't cross my mind, and I'm judged because it doesn't. And people look at me like, that didn't cross your mind, and I'd be like, no.
It can go the other way too. Like pre-selection, like they like there's a thing where it's like, oh, he has three baby mamas. Well, I wonder why that is. Let me try and figure that out. That happens a lot too. So, yeah.
Let me ask you this, Dark Lake. How
Huh? What?
Andrea comment. She said if he don't step up and bring the fire, she gonna turn around and cook him.
Wait, is she talking about approaching, like a man approaching her? You can't come to me with that laid back, no action forward energy. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think she's talking about when a man is approaching. Yeah.
I want to ask this question to Dark Lake. Have a woman ever chased you, and how do you feel about women chasing men? Like really, really actively going um after a man. Is there a con to that? What are the, like, just your insight about that? Like how do you feel about that in general?
Well, I'm also, like you said, you're a different type of person. I'm also a different type of person too, in the way that I judge scenarios and think of people. Right. I do believe that pertaining to manhood, there are certain principles that you have to pursue, and one of those things is pursuing a woman. I do believe that a man should do that. However, right, I don't put people in boxes, right? So I look at individual scenarios and I look at individual people. Like, what's the context behind this? I don't necessarily automatically think just because a woman is chasing a man that she's somehow the aggressor, or she's like the more dominant or the more masculine, and maybe the man who's being pursued by the woman is less masculine. I think those are like prehistoric ideals. Although that could be the case, like that could be true, but it's not true in every case, and we can't just put a blanket thing over it. Yeah, I've been chased before and I liked it. I've also chased and I like that too. So it just depends on the scenario. Do I want to be chased by a woman who is a crazy person? No, I don't want to be stalked, But if a woman is making herself known to me, right, I think that's flattering. I think that's cool. But if I could just make a decision every single time, it'll be me pursuing. But that's not how life works. You feel me? Also, too, it kind of goes back to what I was saying before, how men are adapting, right? Unfortunately, Galaxy, a lot of men are looking weak and more, I don't know, less masculine, I guess, because of the ways that men have had to adjust, right? So it used to be a time when, you literally could just look at a woman's choosing signals, right? Let's just say you're on a train and the train is about to stop. But when the train is about to stop, you kind of like make eye contact with the chick on the next row, right? And then she looks at you a little too long, right? That's a choosing signal. Like, okay, maybe she just think that she knows me. Maybe she's trying to figure out if she knows me, or maybe this is her flirting with me. She's giving me permission to approach her because she likes what she sees. So then the train stops, you get off the train and you walk over to her, you spark up a conversation, right? Because you were paying attention to the choosing signal. But nowadays, that's how it used to be. But nowadays, that's like completely different because of the advent of different like propaganda. So, there's a lot of men, and a lot of these men are alpha masculine men who feel self-conscious about following those choosing signals because they don't want to be labeled a creep or a stalker, hashtag me too, all that stuff. Men don't want, like Keanu Reeves, right? When he's on the red carpet and he's taking pictures with women, he's self-conscious about touching. You feel me? So, and I'm not trying to take away from the validity of actual creeps and actual men who do cross that line. I'm just saying that it has cause and effect um, in society. So that's why things are a little different. That's why men move a little differently. I think that's why men are okay with women doing like the approaching sometimes, if that makes sense.
I know exactly what you mean. I completely agree, and that was a very important factor that you brought up because it has changed the dynamic of how men and women communicate and approach one another. People are afraid to compliment one another. You get a lot of women that, oh, he thirsty and just crazy stuff, and feel like they being objectified just from a compliment and stuff like that. But I see your finger. I'm getting to you. What's up, lady?
Oh yeah,
I'm
listen.
good, y'all.
Uh,
I enjoyed everybody. Nice meeting you. I tried to stick out. I gotta go.
I thank you for being here. That is my host.
Nice
We
meeting
we have
you.
to bid Miss Sharice Taylor farewell for right now. She will be back with us next week. I appreciate you, hon. Take care of what you need to take care of, and we'll talk soon, boo.
Later, Sister Cherise.
You have a good night.
Yeah, but that's a very important factor that you brought up because I remember it should be about a month ago now. I was in on an Uber ride, and it was a shared ride, and it was this young man. Oh, he was fine. Oh, he was so fine. But I'm gonna say he wasn't fine, as in what most women would think is fine just by his looks, because I'm not superficial like that. But he just had this sexy grown ass man energy, and I could tell that this was like a grown ass man. And as a black woman, I like immediately, I'm like, I admire him because that's a grown ass man. I don't know nothing about him. I don't know nothing about his life, but his stature and his energy spoke for himself. And I'm like, this man, he about business. He take care of himself. Like, and because I love my black people, I'm like, I wouldn't be me if I didn't say if I didn't say something to this man. And usually I would look for a ring. I say, I'm not going to be trying to stare at him, try to see if he got a ring on or none of that. I'm going to just tell him what I think about him, da 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 da, this and da 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 da. I can't remember what I said to the man, but what I led with, I don't know if you, did I say, are in a relationship or single, but I just wanted to tell you that I can see you. And I think that you are an upstanding, fine young black man. And I wasn't saying fine as in how he looked. I was telling him that he was a fine black man, like he is representing black men well. And he did like this and pointed to his ring. I was like, I should have known you was taken. Like it, I should have known. I say I didn't see a ring. I didn't look. But that's why I wanted to let you know that even if you were married, I just had to tell you that. Oh, I led with, I don't mean no disrespect and no harm. That's how I led, because I wanted to let him know, even though you may be married, even though you may be in a relationship, I ain't trying to get with you. But brother, I just want to let you know that I can see you and you got it going on. So kudos to, I told that brother, kudos to the missus. We talked the whole doggone Uber ride. It was so wonderful. Yeah. Fine black man. Like we need more of those. I was so happy to see that in the city of Chicago, like in the hood. Whoa.
So I'll just tell you, right? What you did need, like, more women need to do that. But you don't have to actually caveat that with, I mean, no disrespect, da, da, da. You don't have to do that with dudes. Yeah, that's the only thing I would say. You didn't make a mistake. I'm just saying, with dudes, you don't have to do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
You never look. It ain't too. Now I compliment people all the time, but I think I led with, I mean no disrespect, because I think my inner spirit kind of knew he was married. It just, he gave off husband energy. But I just had to tell him, brother, I see you. And he was so delighted. He said that really made my day. He was like, I gotta tell my wife about this and how this made my day. I said, right on. I even invited them to come on the podcast. He works nights. So he said he don't know if he'll ever be able to join. But I was so glad that I didn't hold back, because there was a part of me like, girl, you're gonna look crazy, saying this to this stranger, but I can't help but be who I am. And for whatever reason, it made his day. And it made my day that made his day.
I can tell you why. I can tell you why that made his day, right? And if he were single, you most certainly would have had a shot. And the thing about it is, Galaxy, is the reason why I said you don't have to say, oh, even though you kind of had an inkling that he was married, you don't have to like give a caveat of, I mean, no disrespect. It's because besides his wife and maybe besides his mom, and if he has a daughter, besides his daughter, men in general live their lives as like lone wolves, so like, yeah. So there's not really, if you see, he's gonna remember that compliment you gave him 20 years from now. He's gonna remember the whole setting. He's gonna remember where you were, who you are. You know what I'm saying? And he most certainly told his wife. You can know that. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of a thing where that's see, when I came into the space, I was highlighting these things about men's experiences. And it kind of circulated into, I mean, it trickled down to black men's experience because I'm a black man. So you're dealing with people who are non-black who are intimidated by you, right? And if you just so happen to be what is known as a conventionally attractive black man, whatever that means, then that's like 10 times worse. Then, you walk somewhere and someone thinks that you're going to grate them. So you have to kind of like filter your movements when you're walking around the society, right? If you are attracted to a woman and you approach her, right, it could be seen as an attack or a threat because you're a man and you have the physical capability to harm. So that's just the extreme that everyone goes to when you're just walking around pumping your gas or whatever, right? And then there is this misandry, there is this idea that you as a black man somehow benefited from the patriarchy because intersectionality and shit, that you deal from women of your own race when you're out in public. So the thing about it is, and this is not everyone, but just know that what you did when you complimented that man and you noticed something about him, that was a conversation that was commonplace in like the 40s. It was like no big deal. You see a man walking across the street, you might walk over and say, "Hey, what's good? How you doing? You want to? Hey, you going to this ice cream shop?" But I know, Leroy over there. He owns a shop. He get us good deal. We go down there, whatever. Right? And the same thing in the inverse for men and women. You know what I'm saying? But now everything is so dressed with the coat of he's going to harm me, that men don't want to scare women, right? I'm not saying that every man is a saint. I'm not saying that every man is good. I'm saying that men don't want to scare women. And women, like especially a lot of black women, have given off an impression throughout media that we scare them. So that's why, like, that man could have wanted to give you a compliment. But what stopped him from doing that is all of this stuff that's happening. Oh, she's going to think, oh, I just want the draws. Nah, 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 nah. You know what I'm saying? So that's why what you did was so big in my eyes. And I don't think that you should be discouraged from doing that, in the future. So
I don't think I will be. I'm always complimenting people when I see something. I remember one time my internet wasn't working, and an internet worker came out here, and he was a really really young guy, and my children be tripping out on me because I don't mind giving people compliments. I don't know if they think it's weird, but because I am flirtatious, even when I'm not being flirtatious, maybe they think mom is being mom again. But this young man had a beautiful smile. And I said, "Do you mind if I give you a compliment?" He was like, "No, I don't mind." I was like, "You have a beautiful smile and you are a handsome young man." this boy was probably maybe 25 years younger than me, but he had a beautiful smile, and I wanted that young man to know that his smile was fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, and hey, that's cool. But I also say too, use discernment too. Because hey, listen, if you're not trying to get some wood, then like this is kind of like maybe I don't know, be careful. But that's cool though. That's cool because hey, a dude will use any avenue. I will say that, So,
I
but
feel you.
but I just feel like in the midst of that, what I really felt when I was talking earlier was that because of all these like misconceptions, it has kind of ruined the art of communication between men and women. So,
I can totally
yeah,
see that. And then, like, I'm gonna be honest. Women can be very, very not just dramatic, but we can be rude. We can be off-putting, and sometimes we can be self-centered and stuck up. And men don't want to deal with that BS. So it's like I ain't gonna say nothing to her. If it doesn't seem like you have a friendly demeanor, or what's that word that people was using about a year ago that people went crazy. If you don't seem like you're demure, look, they ain't gonna want to be bothered with you.
I think black people should stop learning new words. And then
I said
I
that
never thought,
sarcastically, right?
it's like I never thought I'd have that perspective, but I don't know if us learning new words is a good or a bad thing.
Look, they wasn't even using it in the right context. That's why I was being sarcastic. So
Hey, thank you so much, Galaxy. I want to thank you for allowing me to add my 2 cents to the conversation. Like I said, I thought your conversation earlier before was really great. I just wanted to add some of my thoughts, so thank you so much for allowing me.
it was a pleasure having you. Always a pleasure, always an honor. I admire your perspective, and not just your perspective, but the way that you articulate your perspective. You are a great representative to or for human intellect and male intellect and male intelligence, specifically black mature male intelligence. So I fuck with you the long way. Like
That's only that's only because of the talks that me and West in the World has, and you know what I'm talking about. So,
Oh,
yeah,
thank you, man. I appreciate that.
bless you too, and thank you so much for the long way. You feel me? You guys have a good night.
So no. Before you go, what we gonna do is we gonna go ahead and give our final thoughts, and we gonna wrap it on up. Um,
You want to go
Mr.
on?
Bless, we gonna start with you. Start from the bottom, then go to Dark Lake, and then we'll end with me, and that'll be all, folks.
Um, man, love is not love is not complicated, y'all. We make it complicated. Let's just love, y'all. Let's just love, man. That's all I'm gonna say. Let's just love. Go ahead, y'all.
I say.
Yeah, I second that. But it's kind of difficult. I think love is extremely possible. It's something that is realistic. It's not delusional. And I don't think that we're crazy because we're trying to figure it out. We have to like not pretend that there aren't all these things that are against us and working against our favor, when it comes to love or just even connection. And sometimes even friendship too. I think that the fact that we know all of that stuff exists should kind of give us a hint as to why love is so important. Because if it wasn't important, then there wouldn't be all the shit against us. You feel me? That's stopping it from happening. So I just hope that we all notice that, and that's my last word. All right.
Oh my gosh, that was so significant. I wasn't gonna add anything, but my final thoughts are, and I almost lost my train of thought. Maybe I am losing my train of thought. Okay. Um, What they said, man. I usually reiterate. My thoughts are coming in and out. I don't know if I done got a little distracted, or maybe that is spirit's way of telling me not to add anything, even though I want to add something. So my final thoughts are what they said. The- What they said. If you haven't seen the whole show, run it back. I'm telling you, you're gonna love it. It was some good stuff. This is the Sensual Eccentric podcast. You are watching on the Intellectual Soapbox. The topic this evening has been women chasing men, the pros and cons. Hey, it's been a real one. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Until next time.
God bless, guys.
Grab hold of my hand. I feel you understand me. Decide what you want, and then I will make it real indeed. Don't say time to go. No, I know you got some to spare. We've been fighting feeling when it's obvious that we both care. So take me to the moon. I wanna be with the stars. Send me